This is Daniel, a popular crypto YouTuber. He's known for his play on Toshi, where he made 100x, but also recently he bought Pump at around $1 billion market cap, which is now already 3x, and he went in with size. So I got him on the podcast so we can know what are his next play, what is his vision on the market, and maybe we're gonna get some solid alpha. So let's tune in and let's start this conversation. Welcome, Daniel, on the podcast. It's a pleasure to have you here. And I see like now your channel is at 30,000 subscribers on YouTube. Last time we talked, I think you were around 10 or 12,000. And as every crypto YouTuber, people are gonna be having some skepticism. So I wanted to know, like, how much did you make with crypto roughly?
Yeah, well, I mean, crypto is pretty scammy. Hey, most influencers are pretty sus, but I've got a pretty big background, pretty long background in crypto. I started with about 5K US, and I'm about 7-8 mil at the moment. It fluctuates, obviously. It's pretty volatile, but I've done pretty well. Definitely wasn't just crypto gains that, you know, made that change in portfolio size. A lot of it comes down to business, income, and other investments out of crypto. But crypto has done really well for me. I've had a few good plays. I think Toshi was mentioned on your channel last time, but that's just a notable one. And there's been some plays on Abstract. I've done well on Tesla stock and just Solana from buying it at $7 in the last cycle, and a number of different things. But yeah, I've also worked with a number of guys that are pretty big in the online business space, like Tate, Iman Gadzhi, and Luke Belmar. I was the crypto guy for these guys for a while. And how
come?
Yeah, so,
how did you end up being the crypto guy for Tate, for example?
it's really about, one part of it is like knowledge, but another part of it is like network. So it's about who you know. So I didn't know Tate, but I knew Luke, who was his cousin, and I had done some work with Luke as well. And yeah, it just made sense for us to sort of collaborate in that sense because I was sort of already in their circle. But yeah, it's really all about network. It's who you know, it's what you know, but who you know is really going to make the difference.
Yeah, for sure. There is always a kind of a proximity. How much did you make on Toshi? Because I remember that one, I think it was like, it's a crazy number. Like, is it 100x or 1000x?
Toshi was about a 80x from what I put in. I made about 400K total. So really it's like not crazy. Like there's guys like who made tens of millions off of Bonk, for example, but 400K is, it's decent. It's fine.
Yeah, that gets you there. That's amazing. Wow. Okay, so that's your background in crypto. And I saw that actually you recently bought the Pump token from Pump.fun, which is now almost at the new all-time high, or it passed the new all-time high. And then you bought it towards the bottom, right? What market cap did you buy in?
Yeah, I bought Pump at 1.1 billion, just before it went down to, it went a bit lower after I bought to about 800 million. But yeah, I got a decent entry on Pump. I think we're going to look back on 1 billion market cap for Pump, and it's going to, in hindsight, look like a no-brainer. And I think Pump's going to go significantly higher to new all-time highs. Probably maybe 3 to 5 bill market cap would be a region that I think is pretty reasonable. When you have an asset that was as hated as Pump was at 1 billion market cap, it doesn't just stop at 2. Like, you have to remember markets go from peak fear to peak greed. And there's this whole cycle of emotions that has to occur. And the amount of fear that we experienced at a 1 billion market cap is pulling back the slingshot incredibly hard. And when you let go of that, it's got to go the other direction. And obviously some assets, they go to zero and they never come back. But Pump is a really genuinely good asset. It's one of the best teams in crypto. It's a top 4 revenue making company at the moment. It has a lot of potential to grow its revenue through different streams, focusing on live streaming, incentivizing creators with fees and all these different strategies they're working on, focusing on developing the mobile app. You know, if Pump didn't exist, the trenches would be like basically dead. Like Pump is the trenches. Like people think, oh, Bonk's going to win, and oh, this heaven thing is going to win that gives 100% of protocol fees back to buying the token. But these things die off very quickly because they're not actually building something that people are going to be coming back to. They go to it to make some quick money, but it's not a sustainable business. Pump is a genuinely sustainable business. Without it, the trenches would not be where they are today. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree on that. Like there is a lot of what they do that is just miles away already from the other. Like we forget that it's still a really young company, right? It's like 1 year and a half or something like that, Pump, and then they already have a quite usable mobile app that is getting better and better, so they can onboard a lot of others. When like I don't know any other launchpad that has a mobile app, for example. So that's already just a big separation. And then of course, like yeah, the live stream that we're gonna explore later to see like how this creator economy can take shape around their ecosystem, I would say. And did you buy Pump as well pre-ICO?
No, the only time I bought Pump was at 1.1 bill. I just
Why
bought it
you
once.
didn't buy pre-ICO?
You mean like
Pre-sale?
before the token came out?
Yeah, the pre-sale one.
Oh, the pre-sale. It just didn't really interest me. I focus on liquid markets investments, to be honest. So, yeah, it just didn't interest me. But when something's liquid and I can allocate to it, I prefer to do it that way. I just prefer not to like lock my money up in pre-sales and various things. But I think also I just didn't understand the pump thesis at that time. Whereas when the token came out and literally everybody hated on it, it made me interested in it. Like, you have to keep in mind when Pump was at a 1.1 bill market cap, there was basically no positive opinions about Pump. Like, literally everybody hated them. They were blaming him. Oh, he's this Jewish founder. He's just taking our money. He's bad for the trenches. He's trying to extract. And then they're putting 100% of revenue back into the token. They bought 6%. Because realistically, like, they raised, I think, over $1 billion from various different methods, right? And when they raise this money, they're giving these investors Pump tokens, right? So you think they're just going to raise a bill and then run away? Like, the fuck? Like, it doesn't make any sense. This is a company run by young people who have nothing better to do but to like keep growing a company. Like, these guys are obviously going to keep working. And you have to also think about it, right? If they've got $1 billion plus war chest and all these investors need Pump to pump in order for the VCs to make money, the revenue basically has to go into the token because they need the token to go up so that in 12 months when the unlocks start, when the cliff ends, the VCs are able to exit in cash because all the VCs are breathing down the necks of these people. Like, Elon, come on, keep the buybacks going. We need the token to pump. Like, these people have a tough job ahead of them, but that's good. They have to work now because they've raised so much money. They have a lot of money at stake. They have real skin in the game. They have to work. They have no alternative. So when everyone's selling Pump at a 1.1 billion market cap because they think the team's not going to work and they've come the rug, but they've just raised a bill, like, I don't know, it's like a no-brainer. So yeah, I only really bought it because it was asymmetric in terms of the upside of what was, could happen. And I didn't see the asymmetry pre-ICO, but yeah.
Okay, interesting. And then even like, because just after the launch, after the ICO, like it went almost 50% up. Did you feel like, oh fuck, I missed the train? Or what kind of train of thoughts were you going through?
I just had no interest in buying it. I really just try to buy distressed assets of the best teams when there is capitulation.
By the way, if you want to be in advance on all the streamer coins, there's no better tools than Stockchain because you're going to be able to sort all the streamers by knowing their average viewer count, their peak viewers, the number of holders, the number of stream they did, the number of fee earned, everything. I personally used it to find a bag work really early at $3 million market cap and lower. And that's why I am up $26,000 on it with just investing $2,000. That's the beauty of being early. And by being early, there's no better way than analyzing the data. Warren Buffett made his money based on data. MicroStrategy made his money based on data. Everyone use data. If you don't use data, you are not going to make it because here I can also see what the killer whales are buying. I can also see what the smart money is tracking, everything. This is called stockchain.com. I will put a link in the description and let's get back to it. Okay, maybe later we can talk if you find another distressed asset like that, because that would be interesting to see what are the opportunities on the market. As I think like a lot of people now, they're going to be listening to this and then they're going to feel like, oh, I missed the train on Pump. Do you think it's already like that, or do you see a lot more upside potential to it?
I think it'll go higher. I haven't sold any. I really don't think it's priced in what's to come. I think it's gone up because of the fact that it got a couple listings, and it'll probably retrace that. But I expect it to consolidate and go to new all-time highs. I wouldn't sell any below new all-time highs, personally. Like, how can Pump be making the same revenue as Hype, but have a market cap 10 times lower? Like, obviously, maybe the narrative isn't as good, but what the fuck? Like, it's so underpriced.
Everyone is saying the same. Yeah, it is true. And a common point that they have, Pump and Hyperliquid, is that it's just so easy to build on top of it. And that's a major thing. Like, for example, Hyperliquid, they get a lot of revenues now from other tools or exchanges that just plug on Hyperliquid and take a small fee for themselves. But it's the same as Pump.fun. Like, if you check like Action, Padre, all those trading tools, bots, well, every trade that goes through before the Pump.fun bonding curve, like, they get those fees. And after now, with PumpSwap becoming more and more the biggest liquidity pool provider on Solana, they make some on the fees now as well. So I think that's the beauty of it, to have this layer where you have the app, the front end, plus you have the back end that a lot of people are going to use. And that's a crazy feedback loop that can grow their ecosystem. So yeah, I would not be surprised if we see Pump going towards a Hype market cap as well. It's just, I think people think it's good to hate on meme coins, and then that's the way it is, right? For now. But then
and that's due to people's inability to see beyond the current narrative. People are still stuck in this mindset of, oh, Pump is just a meme coin launchpad, when in reality, like they've said in the latest podcast or interview that one of the co-founders was on, they're building more a platform that's in line with Twitch, or like it's more a live streaming platform than it is a meme coin launching, like a launch pad. And that's the future that they're heading towards. And so you have to see like the narrative of what's to come, not just getting caught up in like what's happened. Like, obviously Pump has been just purely like meme coins, but just because it's been that in the past doesn't mean it's going to continue to be that. Basically, you have to be able to see like, what are they building towards. And that's why I really think people should be trying to watch like the podcasts or interviews of these founders, because you really need to see like the vision of what they're building, to see like what are they building towards, and see if you agree with them. Like, if you don't agree with the direction Pump's building in, don't buy it. And you're only going to really know the direction if you've watched like long form content of the founders talking. And I think that's really important.
Yeah, because like people will say like, oh, they're extractive or whatsoever, but they already just with the fees like made like something like 700 million or 800 million. It was almost $1 billion before they raised $1 billion. So it's like, I think it's enough money for them to spend till the rest of their life, right? Like they will, if they want it to be just extractive. So why do you think they keep doing this? Why do you think they're still building?
What do you mean?
Like, why do you think that they are still building Pump.fun, for example, instead of just like setting off with their hundreds of millions? What's the motivation behind?
But all the founders are very young, and that can be viewed as a good thing and also a bad thing. A lot of young founders make quick cash and then they run off to the Bahamas and they relax on the beach and they chill. But also there's a lot of founders who aren't really, they're sort of motivated beyond money. Like, again, this is why it's important to watch long form videos of founders. If you watch the video with one of the co-founders that they just put out, he's talking about, they want to take over the world. Like, that's how they describe running Pump and building Pump. They want to take over the world. And I think if you look at a lot of the best founders in the world who keep building even when they hit millionaire, billionaire, even like multi-billion status, they all just want to like take over the world. That's like the mindset. Think about even like a classic Andrew Tate. Like, why does he keep working? He wants to take over the world. That's like their mindset. And I think when you're investing in founders who are already rich, you have to try to pick a founder who is motivated beyond money. I don't think the Pump team really is motivated by money. Obviously, like, money is important. They need a lot of it to build the business and to, have a great life and to set up their family. But once they've got the money, like, they need something beyond that. And like I said, in this instance, it's to take over the world, at least however they envision that to be. And that's like the sort of mindset you want to see. And most people can't pull that off. Most people get a few mil and then they get comfortable. I mean, I'm not building some crazy massive $1 billion company. I could be working 10 times harder, but I'm not. So I'm not built like that. And you have to learn to recognize when people are built like that. For example, who's another classic example? Like CZ from Binance, for example. He made hundreds of millions of dollars, but he kept grinding. He was grinding for a long time. He had to step down to stop grinding. They literally had to like force him out. He didn't want to stop. So, learn to recognize the patterns of like what are the characteristics of these never stop working founders. Elon Musk, classic example. And then learn to spot them before they get big.
Yeah. And what makes you think that you don't want to build $1 billion company?
I'm just not competitive enough. I think you got to be ultra competitive, and I think you got to have a crutch. You got to have something, a few screws loose, something happened in your childhood. You got really bullied or like really tough family situation. You need something in the back of your head that just never leaves, that gives you like infinite motivation. I mean, every founder is different. I think the motivation for different people is different. There's this guy who does like interviews with all the rich people in the world, and they all talk about their connection with God and how that's like a big motivation for them to like do their best and things. So yeah, different people are motivated by different things, but a common pattern I see is like people have like a crutch, like a negative thing, and they need a win, and it's due to like something that happened in their childhood usually.
So what is your goal for you then? And then we will get back after into some crypto talk. But I'm just interested to know like a bit more about like the persona. So what is your goal for your side then?
I mean, I like working, I like building things, but I'm not like motivated by money anymore. I would say like I'm not competing in the money game anymore. I would say like obviously I'm trying to make money, grow my businesses, grow my portfolio, but it's like a more passive thing. It's not like I'm actively spending 20 hours a day on it. So I think it's more about just the other areas of life, to be honest, like travel and connections. And I'm also starting a fashion brand. So a different industry, something new, something more creative, something that actually like gives value to the world, not just buying shit coins like for a living.
Whoa.
I mean, I'm hating on myself.
If I buy peanuts, I understand, yeah. Oh, we'll see. It's always, I think the grass is always greener on the other side. And then people who are in the physical business, they want to go into crypto because they're like, why I'm working my ass off to produce those things where I could just allocate capital to the market. So it's a never-ending cycle. Well, thanks for sharing that. I appreciate that you open yourself to it.
What about you? When's your $1 billion company coming?
Well, that's the thing. I don't think I want to do that because simply I like to have the freedom of my time. And I think like if you build a $1 billion company, you kind of have like to go to an office every day and then do those things. And like I like to do like stand-up comedy, like have my physical activity like Muay Thai and all that. Like I just don't see it happening because like now for me in the next few years, it's more like family planning that is coming into it. And I feel like I want to be able to spend time with my kids if I get some kids and build some really quality time with them instead of just like going on that. So I think like for me, like, I would like to stay into like businesses where I can operate with like 5 people max. It's 5 people that I really like to hang out with, that I really like to build with, and then go towards that. And then as well, it's like to build those companies, like there's a time and a place, right? And then you never know when it's going to show. But like if it's happened, then it's there and you size it. It's some ideas can be like really simple. I think like what Elon Musk did, well, we could say for PayPal, it was more simple than Tesla or SpaceX because they're more like complex engineering that happen in place. But like, for example, Pump.fun, it was quite a simple idea and business model at the beginning. And then I guess it just like skyrocketed directly. But then those guys, they tried many different things before. They were like really grinded it out. And it just depends. I don't think I would see what life have for me, but I don't think that's what's gonna attract me to do.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, it's everyone's got a different set of like priorities.
Yeah.
I feel like I can sort of relate to the guys who just keep working even though they've got heaps of money, because like eventually you like run out of things to do. Like eventually you've surfed all the times and you've done everything and you got all this spare time and you're like, man, I need like a mission to work towards. You always need a mission, but the problem with hyper successful people is like small missions aren't good enough. Like you couldn't give Elon Musk the mission of like shopping for tomorrow's food and expect him to be satisfied. Like his brain requires the biggest possible mission, or it's just not big enough. It's too easy. And like everyone needs a mission. Like my mom's mission would be like cooking dinner, and that's enough for her. Elon Musk, no, he needs to literally solve the world's biggest problems. So everyone needs a mission. Just some people's missions are like end up bigger than others based on like, I don't know, the level that they're at. And I think you also sort of, depending on like how far you push things, it's like once you go there, you never come back, if that makes sense. Like if you've never built a massive company, like you don't have to worry about never building one because you don't know what it felt like. Whereas once you've built a big company and then you go back to worrying about only the small things, you're fucked, you're ruined. Like your dopamine receptors are done. Like you know you could be doing a lot more. And you know that you could have bigger problems to deal with. And you know that your mission right now is fucking small and shit. So it's like hard to go from like, I was responsible for 1,000 people and we were building this future thing. It was a massive mission to, man, I'm just like, what are my kids going to eat tomorrow for dinner? Like it just doesn't compare. And it's tough.
I actually have a friend, he built a big SaaS and now like he doesn't need to get involved in it. Like it was already like 8-9 years ago. So imagine at that time, like having a SaaS B2B was like really the shit. And then now he has a CEO and everything that handles it. So he started this little side project, but that side projects bring him like 2 to 5K per month max. And he's like, I might just stop because the money is just not interesting for him. He doesn't change anything. He likes to work on it, but it's like, that's exactly what you say. I think it's just like the rewards that you get from it gotta be at some point like towards what you used to get. Otherwise, you're not gonna be interested in it. And you might go through cycle in your life anyways. I think that's just the nature of things.
It's like a rabbit hole. It's all just different rabbit holes. Like once you go down that rabbit hole, you're done. It's like imagine you go down the rabbit hole of like lust, for example. Like you go to the craziest clubs in Berlin. You go to Bermain or whatever it's called, Berghain or Kit Kat. You do like all the most like lust-seeking, pleasure-maxing things, and then you go back to like having one wife. And you only see this wife for 20 years, like you almost, I don't know if you could pull that off because you've ruined yourself. Like you've seen the other side of things. You've seen too much. Yeah, and it's the same thing in business. Like you can see too much and then it's very hard to go back. You can go back, it's fine, it takes time, but it's just very difficult.
Yeah, it is, but you need that mental challenge anyway. So I know, for example, I would say that I'm probably addicted to entrepreneurship and like investing in a way where I feel like I just need to be looking out for opportunities. It's just what I like to do, like with my brain. Like for creative and other things, like I have stuff, but yeah, that's what it is. So to get back to Pump.fun, why do you think the creator stuff are important?
Well, I'm actually not like super knowledgeable on the pivot they've made to making changes to the creator fee sort of thing that they're doing. But from my perspective, they're going down the live streaming route. And so they need to reward people who are creating content on the platform better. And obviously the way they've changed it is to try to make these guys more money. The idea is you can go on Twitch and you can make, I don't know, $1,000 an hour, or you can come to Pump.fun and make $2,000 an hour. They need to make it more, you need to make Pump.fun better for creators because that'll make them go over. Creators are just trying to make money. Like they want to go to the platform that makes them the most money. And if they make more on Pump.fun, then they're going to go to Pump. And they also said on the interview, which was really interesting, is that you don't really need to curate the content on the platform. You just need to give the creators the freedom to make content that will speak to their sort of viewer base. So you just need to give them a good enough incentive to make videos on your platform, and then you let the creators do the rest, and then you're set. You don't know what form the content's going to come in. You just give them the tools and the money, and they'll make it real. They'll make it happen. It's like with TikTok, right? TikTok isn't determining the trends like 6, 7. Like they're not fucking making up these TikTok trends. Like it's a natural thing. It's just organic, and so they just give the tools, give the money to the creators, and then organically things will happen. And I think that's what they're trying to do. And they talk about on the interview, like, again, this is why it's so important to watch these things. They talk about how hard it was for them to find product market fit and how many different things they tried. And you mentioned this briefly. They tried so many different things. And then when they finally find product market fit, they go all in on it. So again, they're just testing, always testing. Like, let's give creator fees in this way and see if this sort of makes an improvement. And then if it works, then they double down on it and they just keep doubling down, seeing how far it goes.
Yeah. I mean, the creator rewards that you get when you start streaming is crazy. Because they have this system where it's a low market cap, you get more fees. And then when it's a higher market cap, you get less fees from the volume of transaction. But you would expect that if you have higher market cap, then you will have a bigger volume. However, in the state of the market right now, people are looking for really high upside potential on small coins. So there is a lot of the volume that happen. And I saw some creators, they start and they make like from 2K to 20 or even 40K in just one day of starting. Now, of course, those ones are the outliers. But then after, if they continue streaming, like some like really big streamers that's being like established, for example, I guess like Rasmus or something like that, his creator fee is not moving much because there's no upside anymore. So I wonder if like that spike of dopamine at the beginning where the creators get like a lot of money and then it's just less and less and less, if it's going to be like, I guess they're going to find a way, or maybe we're going to get more people coming in and then that's going to equilibrate this and then reverse the trend. But that's how it is right now. Now, the thing is, like TikTok, their main thing is the algorithm that is just so good. That's that's their mode. Pump.fun, I would say, like, again, that's a new platform, but there's like the creation of the content, and because also there's just not enough streamers and content yet, I think like that's going to be where they're going to need to work on at some point, because if you just show like the biggest market cap coins, then it's going to be boring, because a lot of them are just like today, like if you are a new person to Pump.fun, you come and you see the top market cap, they are live, there's just like robot style. So it means like, oh yeah, this streamer will give out money to other streamers, but that's just a program, there's no interaction, or this is just a radio associated to a coin. And I think like that's where they're gonna have some work to do, and we will see how it goes. But it seems that it attracts some kind of people. Now it's chaos. It was like some OF girls. It was like some people doing drugs. It was like, and I think it's normal, because I mean, every new technology is first used for corn, right? That's what it is. That's how you know the technology is good in a way. But it's an interesting thing. If people start to actually invest in creators, we will be back to what was happening in 2021. 22, and even we could say like the first global bull market of 2018-19, where we say like all creators get paid directly because there's this ecosystem with the coin, right? You remember those? Like there's like those blog posts that you could do on the Web3 where you would get paid if you post
Steamer or something. Steamer.
Yeah, Steamer. There we go. Yeah, there was all those things where they tried at that time and it didn't work out. Then there was another attempt. It didn't work out. So maybe the third is the charm, right? The one is going to work, and it's going to be Pump with the live streaming. We will see. So far, it seems to be doing good. By the way, if you want to find those streamer coins even earlier, Stablecoins is here for you to help. Of course, you would go with a smaller capital, but for example, it called Clip at 50K. That's a 107x. It called Trader at 60K, that's a 72x. And there at 42K, that's a 42x. I could go on and on and on, but that's just on the last 200 calls with a win rate above 80%. This is just crazy. So that's the new way to trade and find meme coins. Stock.fun. It's way better, way easier to find. I can see there's whatever coin is that. I don't think I'm going to invest in it, but you can have all the information. Look at that. Just here, because this use algorithm that analyze more than 25 data points. The holders, the volume, the keyword, the snipers, the bundle, all what you would do manually, he does it automatically, and the algorithm always does it better. This is a stock.fun. I will put a link in the description. They might have a masterclass soon where I explain everything on how I use it, how I made my money with it, because I had $100 and I transformed it into 100K in just 3 months with it. So don't fade on this if you want to make money.
It's tricky because like these platforms work because there's an entity that's willing to spend money to, like for Twitch, for example, the only reason it works is because there's companies who would spend money to get like ad space, right? Like you go on Twitch, you're watching streams, there's ads. Like that's the revenue model of every single social media platform. It's a business which wants to make money. And that's sustainable because there's always going to be businesses that want to get customers. But I just wonder how sustainable the business model of monetizing trading of things on the internet are. Like, is it a future where literally every single thing is tradable within a wallet and every little like micro trend has a coin launch? Like, is this the future forever, or is this just like a little crypto micro trend? I think that's less clear to me, and that for me is the more bearish side of the pump thesis. It's like,
yeah,
the only reason this whole ecosystem works is because people are gambling on these like little tiny things. How long are people going to do this for? Like, because remember, like, this is just a casino, essentially. Twitch is not a casino. It's a genuine platform to connect streamers and consumers and have businesses run ads. It's a proper business. Whereas Pump.fun's more a gambling, it's a casino. And casinos, the popular ones change over time. Like the casino of NFTs, and then the casino of DeFi was really popular. And now it's more the casino of memes. The casino of, like, AI coins, the casino of pre-sales, ICOs. There's always like a popular casino. And I just wonder, like, what's the next, is there going to be another casino which then beats the Pump casino? How long is that going to be the most fun casino in town for? So I don't know, it's yet to be seen, but that's like my only bear side of Pump. It's like not the most sustainable source of revenue, I think, potentially.
Yeah. So do you think, like, for example, Hyperliquid is more a classic model than it's a better one? Like, what's your story on Hyperliquid? When did you invest it in? Why? And give a quick feedback if you invested in.
Yeah, I bought heaps of hype at like $14, $15, and then that was like when it was at that like support level, and then it like broke and went to like $8, and I sold it at like $12 or $13 or something. And then obviously now it's at like $55. And I had the perfect thesis on hype. Like everything that happened, I had already sort of like saw in advance. But I let my entry get sort of closed out because of sort of price invalidating, which is sort of a lesson learned where I don't think that's the right way to do things. Like if you have a thesis, you shouldn't necessarily like have that thesis invalidated because price did something wrong. I also like messed up the entry. Obviously I bought at the support level, but that wasn't like lining up with either Bitcoin's bottom, and it wasn't lining up with like a really fear-based capitulatory entry that I got with Pump. That's why I did Pump so well, because I learned from Hyperliquid like the mistake that I made, right? Like I bought Hyperliquid at the equivalent of like if I did the same mistake on hype that I did like, how do I explain this? My hype entry on Pump would be like 1.7 billion market cap or something, or like 1.6. So that like I would have had to write a 40% decline. But I did better on Pump. I learned from my mistakes there. But yeah, hype is a much more sustainable business model. They basically just allow people to trade, and trading between tokens is just always going to be something people do. Definitely more sustainable than sort of flipping shit coins. Like Hyperliquid can just facilitate any form of trading. You know, people are always going to want to swap between tokens. It's more about like what tokens do they swap between. And obviously they're going to be offering stocks, so they're also diversifying into a more sustainable source of revenue. Crypto volumes are very volatile, right? Stock volumes are going to be a little bit more consistent because crypto is very cyclical and it's very much a bull market mania sort of asset class. Stocks is more consistent. So yeah, they're going to get a more consistent revenue stream over time. And it's just way more sustainable. So yeah.
Yeah. I think as well, it's just a natural evolution of things. It's like, it's decentralized. Everyone can build on top of it. And finally, we have more fairness and clarity in the game with Hyperliquid, because when you're trading on centralized exchange, such as Binance and everything, well, you have just a brief idea of their order book, but you don't have the whole thing. You don't know what they're doing in the background, and then what kind of incentive they have with the market makers and co. So I think, I mean, it's beautiful. I dabbled around with Hyperliquid, built like few tools around, and it's amazing. I think what they're building. Still hate them though because I didn't get my airdrop.
That sucks.
Because I didn't click that fucking box. I didn't know about that, and I was like, oh, well, that's like at least 6 figures, and it's going up and up. That is going out. But luckily, I bought Hype at like $3 and $4 when it went out. Directly to get my revenge on it. Sold a bit on the way up, but I'm still good with it. So yeah, it was a good one on Hyperliquid. And I think like what is like, now we have Pump, now we have Hyperliquid, and I feel like I was trying to think yesterday, what is the next one? Because clearly the path is towards a revenue-driven product, which is completely different that was crypto before that. And I was talking with someone that worked with crypto founders, and then they were just all depressed because no one fucking cares about their project anymore. No one wants to buy their coin. No one wants to ICO their coins or whatsoever. Because we went from selling Fugazi for a few cycles, and now it's like, all right, there's actually revenue. There's actually a business model. And that's exactly what is taking over on the market. Do you see anything that will be a third important point of this market beside Pump and Hyperliquid today?
It's a good question. Probably nothing at the moment, but you know, you just have to keep an eye on these things every day. I wish I had one that I could give you, but I don't see anything.
Yeah.
I think it's Pump, it's Hyperliquid, and it's honestly not really clear what the third one would be. But on the topic of buybacks, it's really interesting, like, to think about how important buying back the tokens are to people. When you think about it, right, buybacks is just turning real money, US dollars, into fake money, which is like the coin that these people create. And it's a good strategy short term because it pumps the price. But long term, you're putting all this money that you've made into an asset which is incredibly illiquid and that you probably would have a really hard time selling. So if you ever come to a point in the business where you're running low on cash, you're ending up having to sell your own token in large quantities to just keep your business afloat, and that would just destroy the whole token. So I think because crypto tokens obviously don't want to be securities, right? Because then it just ruins the whole thing. They can't just give token holders like revenue. Like imagine you just had a interface on Hyperliquid where you basically had a bunch of hype and they just distributed dividends to you based on how much hype you held. Like now you're a security, and that would cause a lot of problems. So they can't do that. So instead they have to just do buybacks. But buybacks is just locking up all this money in this token, which is going to end up being very illiquid. And if they ever start, making less monthly cash flow and they need to dig into their hype reserves, it's just going to cause problems. So there's also stories of various stocks that did too much buybacks, and they would have done a lot better if they would have just put their money into Bitcoin or gold, for example. Like, instead of buying back hype tokens, why not just like hold it in Bitcoin and just have a massive treasury? Because it doesn't work in crypto. Because you as a token holder, what if the revenue isn't buying back the token, what do you actually own? What is the token for? Oh, well, you have to stake the token to get this. You have to, buy the token to use the platform. Well, that's a pretty shit use case. I don't think that's enough. If they're going to make money as a token holder, you basically want ownership over the company to a certain extent. The only way you can do that really is buybacks. So I think people need to focus on revenue generating projects, but you need to understand that it's not like this beautiful long-term amazing thing that you should basically be demanding every project to do, because you're going to end up having a project do all these buybacks, all their money is in their illiquid token, and they've sort of screwed themselves in a bear market, right? What happens when revenues drop 90% in a bear market? Where's your cash gone? You're not making money anymore. You have to be careful with that. So that's, one little thing on buybacks.
That's interesting. I mean, I think like for hype and pump, like unless they go like super gluttonous, like they don't need much cash to operate. And then just more revenue can work out. And then those two, they still have massive treasury, right? But then, I mean, still, it's just because those businesses generate revenues. Most of the crypto project before did not generate any revenues. It was speculation that one day maybe everyone's going to use them, right? And then that we tokenize the casino, we tokenize this. I mean, maybe I guess the next casino will be a casino with a token, but then they usually don't, because the nature of casino is to be quite like opaque, that you can't see exactly what's happening inside. So that's why we didn't really see. I mean, there was Rollbit that was like gaining trend, if you remember back then.
Yeah.
But then like behind, we can't know exactly what they were doing and everything, and they didn't seem to be like the place that everyone choose. There was also Jupiter, I remember, before Pump, that there was a lot of people were looking at, because it was kind of like the infrastructure that everything on Solana was built on for swapping and stuff. But it didn't seem to catch up more than that. So
yeah, I mean, Pump and Hyperliquid would be fine because these are very well-run companies. Hyperliquid is also the most profitable company per employee in the world. They make $100 million plus per employee at current sort of revenue. So that just tells you that they basically spend zero money to make heaps of money. Pump is not as profitable, but it's still like profitable. It's more like you see these little crypto coins and they make like 20k rev, and all the token holders are like, buy back the token, put it into the token, because they're all like short-term focused. They're like, they need quick money because they're all retarded. Whereas they don't understand that businesses are better to invest money into growing the business, not just trying to make you happy because you bought at the top because you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Right? Like, people don't understand you need to allocate money correctly. Buybacks is the thing you do once you run out of places to put the money. Like, you've invested in the team, you've invested in the infrastructure, you've done all these things, and then you've got money laying around, chuck it in buybacks. That's how you're supposed to do it. But people don't understand that because most crypto people have never run a business before. They've got no clue. So I'm not surprised why they think that.
That's true. A lot of them didn't even run a normal life, so that's like complicated. Like, yeah, it's everyone has an opinion. Like, it's so funny. I have a friend, like, he runs some automated strategy with an algorithm, and they're really profitable. And then there will be a guy like texting him, how come you don't put a stop loss here? This is like, oh, how could you think that and everything? I'm like, bro, if you want to trade manually, just trade manually. But the algo is making money. What are you complaining about? Like, what are you like? That makes sense. It's like, I think like the return was like 300% over a year. Like, it's just like, you're not going to get that if you trade manually, unless like you're a beast. But that's the beautiful world of crypto, I guess. Everyone has an opinion and everyone has a voice.
Yeah, it's like that tweet. One of my favorite tweets of all time. It was like, the unemployed guy with $10 of a token has a question for the dev, or something like that. It's like, the 16-year-old with $10 of this coin has a question for the dev. It's like so funny. I don't know if you know that tweet.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, to everyone has like they will invest a small amount of money, and for them it's a big amount of money, and then they will feel like so involved into it. And that's like, I guess that's the pitfall of internet. Maybe one day we will have a something where you can know, like, all right, this person has more money into that coin or into that stock, so maybe I can listen more to that person or not, and then have a bit of a thing, because now like every voice is equal, and I create this chaos of conversation.
Yeah, I really don't know why most projects do Web3 instead of Web2. I think it's because it's just way easier to scam. Like you can, like most crypto projects launch in Web3 because they know they can make a bunch of money and still not deliver anything. Whereas in the traditional world, it's a bit harder to do that. Because like imagine you run a crypto project and you've got like every day a bunch of retards like complaining about the price in your DMs, and you've got this like never-ending sea of people crying, and the bigger the token grows, the bigger the pool of crying people becomes, because the token inevitably goes down again. And so you've got this like hamster wheel that's slowly, it's spinning faster and faster the higher the token goes, where you've basically just got to keep running forever, and it gets worse and it never stops. That's like the reality of running a crypto project, and it sounds fucking terrible to me. Like imagine it's a billion market cap and now it's crashed 90%. The whole Discord of 50,000 people is just crying. And then you've got people like sending you death threats. Some dude's hit you up and he's like doxed you and he's like told you your family's name. Like that doesn't really happen as much in Web 2. Like, no. So I don't know why these people launch Web 3 projects. I think most people actually also just are completely naive. They don't know what they're signing up for. And that's why all these projects go to zero, because the people who run the projects end up hating the very people who sort of made the community, because they're terrible. Like the worst people in the world are buying these crypto projects and complaining and crying in the Telegram and Discord chats. So yeah, it's interesting.
It's a super emotional world, and on top of that, because they would distance themselves from the words they use, as they use a profile picture, it's just an online thing, and then it becomes this just like kind of like toxic circle where it would be like on Twitter, for example, like everyone is like anonymous in a way, and then they will use the worst words, the worst ideas that they will never use in real life, and like that kind of create, you talked about before, like this kind of thing with lust, if you were going to all those clubs, where I feel like those people, because they have those conversation online, they're like just like so disconnected from every consequences of what you would say to someone or do something, that they can't have normal life conversation. And then that's why there's more and more loneliness, I guess, because they don't understand what is actually a normal interaction, human to human.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like people complain about like the accredited investor laws, but I actually think they're a great idea after seeing what happens in crypto. I really don't think these people should be allowed to invest in these things. Like if they're going to be acting like this, like DMing the founder when they've put $100 in the token, thinking they like deserve that person's time. It's like, yeah, we should put up some accredited investor laws. I don't know. Open permissionless. Only open to people who are smart, maybe. I don't know.
That's the thing. Yeah, you want to open to people that are gonna be accountable for their own action and not just put the blame on someone else. Because no one forced anyone to press buy on any token, as far as I know. Haven't seen many such case. But
people outsource responsibility.
That's the thing. Like it's needs to have some game. We will see how it goes. I saw you talk a lot about stablecoins recently. I'm going to be honest, it's not a topic that I dig into it so much. Could you briefly say why stablecoins are important this cycle? Like what is behind it?
Stablecoins is probably the most interesting thing happening this cycle, in my opinion. And it's interesting because it's the first thing in crypto that will get to 1 billion users, in my opinion. So there's a whole like story here of basically what's happening. To keep it really simple, every single USDT or any stablecoin that exists is backed by $1. And the dollar that backs it, these companies like Circle and Teva they put that money into treasuries because they get a yield, right? That's how Tether makes money. They put all their money in treasuries. They make 3, 4, 5% a year, and they keep that for themselves. They make a lot of money doing that. Now, when there's $100 billion or whatever it is of stablecoins, 50 billion, whatever it is, and that represents $100 billion, whatever it is, of buying power for basically US debt. And America, as we all know, is like always hungry to borrow more money. The problem is that as we're heading away from the US dollar becoming the world reserve, being the world reserve currency, there's less demand from various nation states around the world to buy US debt. There's less interest in it. But the US still needs to borrow money. They need to keep the debt Ponzi going. Even though people are waking up to it, they still need more and more to fuel everything. And so where are they going to get people from who can buy their debt, who can basically lend them money? Well, you've got stablecoins, which is one of the biggest buyers of US government debt. And Trump understands this, and also Russia understands this. They just spoke about it at some press conference. Russia was saying how Trump's whole thing with crypto is just, it's going to cause problems. I don't know exactly what he said, but he's not happy with it. Because when you think about it, right, when governments go to war, they finance the war through printing money. The printing of money takes away the money from their population to then fund the war. So in a war, you've got massive inflation rates. All this money you've got in cash is basically going to the government so they can pay for planes and shit and bombs. Now, that's bad for America because they're basically taking their population's money. But what if like 100 million Russians held US dollars, and when the US government prints money, it inflates away Russia's money because they're all holding US dollars. Now Russia's funding the war against Russia. And that's a powerful concept that can be applied to any country. What about China? Imagine if all the Chinese citizens had stablecoin wallets with USDT, and they could just America could print US dollars, inflating away all of China's wealth to then fund the war against China.
Yeah,
that would be amazing. Now, obviously, the problem that comes up is you're still inflating away people's wealth in your own country. However, America could just print a bunch of money and then give it back to its citizens in the form of UBI. And so Russia's sort of, I think, understanding this and saying, holy shit, if all of our citizens are, using crypto and holding US dollars and stablecoins, America can bankrupt us. Like, they can take our money away, essentially.
Yep.
And it's the same for Europe, same for Australia, because really, is there any Aussie dollar stablecoin? Is there any Euro stablecoin? I mean, there's small ones, but no one uses it. Every citizen, every person wants to use the US dollar. Before 20 years ago, how many Australians held US dollars? Maybe if you went on a vacation to Hawaii, you'd buy some in advance so the rate was good. Or maybe you had stocks and you have some US dollars in the account. But you didn't really hold any, unless you're like some international businessman. But now, everyday people are storing a lot of wealth in stablecoins who aren't even from America. And that trend's accelerating, and countries are waking up to it like Russia. And I don't think they can really slow it down unless they ban the US dollar from their country, which is probably not going to happen. So that's why stablecoins are interesting.
That's so true. I mean, yeah, I remember, saw that already back then. The main goal when they were making US dollars the global currencies, that you tax everyone in the world, basically. You tax everyone on their saving. It's an invisible tax to inflation, right? But then it impacts even more the ones abroad. So that's the crazy thing. And then, we don't realize it, but then crypto, we created this kind of superpower for the USDC and USDT, where it's like everyone's on some in their portfolio. Like, I probably own way more dollars than I would if I was not into crypto, right?
Same.
Yeah, because it's like I just, plus you get a fairly good yield on it, right? It's like 5 to 8% or something like that. So, like, yeah, why not? Oh,
I mean, think about it, right? I'm from Australia, but I hold no Aussie dollars. And like the millions that I have in cash, whatever sum it is, is money not in Aussie dollars, right? So that's money that Australia can't inflate away. And that's a major source of, obviously, money for these countries is printing, right? Like you said,
Yeah.
inflation's a hidden tax. They can't even tax me on inflation anymore. Only America can.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. Anyway, any fiat currency you're gonna have is gonna be having some inflation until maybe there's a country that doesn't have it. I don't know. We'll see. Or it's just gonna be, we're just gonna hold our bitcoins and then that's it. Then after get a little bit of that for the living, or maybe even, I guess what everyone is waiting is that you can get a good yield on Bitcoin, and like this, you never have to sell your Bitcoin, because now it's really low how much you can have with your Bitcoin, right? Is it like last time I checked for like easy stuff, it would be like 1 or 2%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not very good.
I don't know why. It's not good yet for Bitcoin.
I would just assume there's not a strong sort of lending economy, borrowing economy. I don't know. Where do you get 2% from? Do they do it through Aave or is it not on there?
No. It's like one of those banks, that Bitcoin crypto banks.
The one that blew up with Pump or BlockFi?
No, it's called
I use that one actually.
Zappo, I think.
Okay. Yeah, it's not much.
What do you mean that blew up? You mean blew up in number of users, or blew up like they went bankrupt?
BlockFi. I'm pretty sure they went bankrupt or something when FTX happened.
Yeah. Oh wait, there was a lot. Yeah, no, those ones were like, yeah, that was a time you had to be there.
If like, you know, you know.
Yeah. This like, I think only one survivor of that was Nexo or something like that. And I was like, how come right. all of the other one died, but this one is alive? I couldn't understand it. It was weird. So
I don't know. I still get emails from Celsius about something. I don't even remember having money there, but they still email me about their liquidation.
Oh yeah, it's horrible. Like, it takes so long. Did you have cash in FTX?
Like 10K.
Yeah, same. I had a small amount. I think it was 20 or 30. But when I got it when they sent it back after, I was like, oh, that's perfect. Can buy some more Bitcoin.
They sent you your money back?
Yeah, they sent the money back to everyone, man.
Okay. I don't think I did it. I just couldn't be bothered to do the fucking
man,
KYC.
The liquidation company made so much money, you have no idea, right? You followed a bit the story?
People...
Just also because like they were like given like all the assets and everything that were worth more, and then after like they took the price at the lowest of crypto, but then they didn't sell the crypto, so then they were selling when it was going up, and they made like crazy money. It's insane. So I guess I don't know, we will see how long Sam stay behind the bars, but like he must have made some friends with the money that they made on that. Crazy time.
He's probably got some Diddy friends in jail too.
Of course, I don't know. We will see. Hey, maybe one day he will come on the podcast. So let's see. He will come up with a new project that'll be funny. It'll be interesting.
True. I mean, if you look at all the investments he did, he's actually an incredible VC. So I think if he ever made it out, he would be probably getting another $1 billion given to him, I would say.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he did very well. Oh, he was one of the main investors of Solana and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, he did a lot of investments, but I can't remember them, but they did well.
Yeah. Hyperliquid, did they get VC funded or no? I don't remember exactly. Yeah,
no
that's
VCs.
the only one. Pump, they were VC funded, but they didn't get that much, I think, just for Pump. I think it was for their other product, but they was still VC funded. So that's just another thing. That Hyperliquid is the only project fucking bootstrapped with Bitcoin.
Well, I mean, there's a couple others. Ray is a AI project which is basically the same exact setup as Hype, but it's just a AI project. It's very interesting. They did no VC raise. They have a 23 employee team, self-funded. They did a token launch publicly at like a tiny valuation where anyone could invest into it. And it's very much the same as Hyperliquid, and the team's pretty cracked. But They're trying to build a not an LLM, but an extension, a sort of the next evolution of an LLM, and it's very experimental, and it's the sort of play where if it works, it's going to go like to like a 10 bill market cap, and then if it doesn't work, it's just going to fail. But it's one of my favorite projects at the moment.
And why did it didn't go with the route of Web 2?
Because they didn't want to essentially have like a VC breathing down their neck. They wanted to be able to build in the direction that they wanted to. It's sort of like what they said, basically. Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting. Web3, like, I'm wondering if they're going to come to regret that decision. The community is pretty good at the moment. There's not many crying people, but you know that doesn't last forever.
Yeah, I mean, it's just how much proximity you put with the community. I think like Hyperliquid, they did well on that because they're really not talking to many people. Like they really like were focused on product, and then like they have like such a core community that is super strong, and that might become at some point a problem for them because it's like everyone who's building on top of Hyperliquid would say like it's super closed. So you need to have a contact or whatsoever that lets you being able to be one person away from those people or whatsoever. But man, they put off some great stuff. Like when they had the attack from other exchanges, right? They were trying to manipulate the price and everything. That was insane. It's a crazy time in crypto.
Yeah, no, they're doing well. I think the way they've approached things has set the standard for a lot of projects, and I think it's a good test. I think if you have a project that still isn't distributing revenue like Hyperliquid, even though they've been so successful in doing it, you got to be a little skeptical. Like, why would you not even allocate like 1% to buybacks? Like, you got to be skeptical. But yeah, I think what they're doing is pretty cool.
And do you have other project like Ray that you're looking at?
Not really. I'm trying to build a tool for the base trenches at the moment. Not so much trenches where it's like flipping within an hour a brand new shitter, but you know how like there's been Kita and Mamo, and there's all these different projects that launched on base where you could have did really well if you had found them on like the first day or the first week. I'm building a tool that has a filtering system of like things it looks for in a coin that launches, like ex Coinbase employees, you know, significant founders, like with a history of building things, or like a big VC that's notable, like just like a list of things to like look out for. And if a coin launches and you know the AI scans and it finds something, then it would report it back. So I'm keeping an eye out. I'm building this out at the moment. Probably something I should talk to you about. But besides building that, I don't have any like specific things at the moment. Ray's interesting, but Pump, that's about it.
Yeah, that's so amazing. Because I was wondering, like, when this feels like at the moment there's less opportunities on the market. So what do you do? How do you make yourself busy during the day to not end up like just over trading because you want to get into a trade because you're a trader, so you have to trade?
Well, I mean, I'm an investor, so really, like the actual process of investing takes like 2 hours a month or something, maybe. The rest of it is just reading, and then also the fashion brands taking up a bit of time. And then I play Fortnite sometimes, to be honest, just for fun. The thing with video games is they're so addictive that you have to, if you're going to do it, play it in a way that it's only addicting for an hour and then you hate it. So with Fortnite, I've got it on the Switch, the Nintendo Switch. It's like really shit, but it's like just good enough that it's fun for an hour and then I hate it. So I do that. Fashion brand, researching the market, and then Lisbon's nice. I'm in Lisbon. It's like beautiful to walk around. So you just walk around a bunch, surfing, and then that's a day, pretty much.
Okay.
What about you? Are you busy?
Yeah, I mean, we have 2 SaaS, so building that, always adapting either the product or the product market fit. Like now we're building the suite of tools to analyze Pump.fun streamer coins. So like to go deeper into like to know like how many streams they did, how many viewers they had. So we getting all the collection of the data, the creator fees, so to be able to find opportunities into like which streamers to invest. But yeah, plus the YouTube channel, yes. Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm always feeling like I should take it easy when the market is not so hot, because like that I can get more distance. But it's like now that I have all those things going on, it's just like I gotta work with my team, and I love working with my team. But I mean, I think because I'm in Bangkok as well, it's a city where it's kind of like I'm not into party and stuff. So then the only thing I can do is work, because then I'm gonna just like have workout. Sometime I would do the comedy, like hang out with my friend and all that. But it's not going to be as so many things that are going to be like, oh, during the day I want to do this, I want to do that. So it's kind of like the good time frame for me. And I think like, I'm like, yeah, grind it out for 1 or 2 years during this bull market. And then after switch to something that's going to be probably more around either stock market, B2B or mobile apps, like around that. And then I think I would still focus on what we are good at, which is data, because we like what we do with our product, like you're familiar, but like maybe not the audience, but like Stockchain and everything, we get all the data from on chain to analyze that. And I think those projects will like live long for, because like on chain analysis is just the future of getting alpha or information, at least for your investments. But then I can replicate that into finding social elements into the stock market, because it's becoming more and more around that as well. Like now they talk about, before we had meme stock, and now they talk about cult stock. But then how do you find those cult stock? And like you gotta be knowing what's going on Reddit, FinTweet, so Finance Twitter, Finance X, whatever. Get all those information, and then you could do it manually. That's similar to what you're talking about for the project you're working on, but then manually on every project takes you a bit of time. How you could automate that, and I think that's what I'm probably gonna do next, if I have time.
If you have time, yeah. I mean, you're gonna have kids, right? You're gonna be busy.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing, and then also it's like, crypto has this uncertainty where you don't know, like you've been through some bear market and sometimes it's just terrible. Like there's nothing you can do. There's nothing to do. And then the pitfall of building during bear market is that you don't even know what's going to be next. So it's like a lot of people built like stuff that were like for Ethereum layer 1 during the bear market, and then this bull market has been a lot more trading on Solana. So then after you just been building on the wrong side. And then like if you've been on-chain analysis tool, you got to be building on the chain where there's more volume to be interesting. So I will see. I'm not so worried about that.
Yeah, I've had some like SaaS things like airdrop farming, like an automated platform, and then airdrop farming dies off, and it's like, it's annoying. And then like a trenches thing, and then the trenches dies off, and it's like, fuck, like can't a sector last for more than like 1 year? So I get your pain.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like it's incredibly hard to build on the right place. Like we built first a trading bot that was like around, that was like interface like same as like everyone use now, but like we had web and Telegram. But we built it for base chain, and then you know that base chain meme coins just like died. They just like they didn't last that long, and then so there's no clarity. You gotta keep developing skills, and what I say to my team is like, at the end of the day, what matters is just your skills, because the market, the opportunity will change, and you can apply that from this place to another place. If there's a really hot market, you can shift fast.
Yeah, I think that's the key. You just got to keep adapting in crypto. But I got time for like one more question, or if you like one more thing.
That was the last one, man. You're not
That
leaving,
was the
I'm
last
leaving.
one.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I'm busy. I'm the busy one.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to have you, Daniel. I'm gonna look into the coins you said, and then let's keep in touch. Yeah, let me know more about your projects. A lot of good stuff. I will put all the links in the description about you, and then I don't know if you have one last word to say to close it off.
No, it's pretty much it. Maybe next time I come on, I'll have the base thing built, and we can have like a masterclass on chain analysis or something. That'd be cool. Something more actionable for people. But this has been good, very good questions. So I appreciate like good, thoughtful questions, and hopefully your audience got some value. I'm pretty exhausted after today, so I hope everything I said was making sense. But I think it was. So
It did.
yeah.
It did. Yeah, no worry. Thank you. Well, I hope you enjoyed this interview as much as I did. I have one more thing for you. I will put a link in the description if you want to join my community where I share some plays and some of my research. And also, if you just want to watch more stuff right now, you should check out this video because you're going to understand more my process and the story behind all those plays. It was a pleasure. And don't forget one thing, stay handsome. Ciao.